It is possible to create custom document classes. But before you embark on such a challenge, it is possible to give customizations to already existing document classes. For example, we are using the article class. By default, the font size is 10 point. We can increase the font size to say 12 points. Compile. As you can see, the font size of the overall document has increased. 12 point is the font size for the main text in the document. The sizes for title, date, abstract are relatively chosen based on the base font size that we specify here. And when we don't specify anything, a default font size of 10 point is chosen. On the left, we have the output PDF that was generated when we specified no font size. In such a case, a font size of 10 point is assigned by default. On the right hand side, we have the output PDF that was generated when we specified 12 point to be the font size explicitly. You can clearly see how the font size has changed. Here are some of the commonly used document class options. When that particular option is not specifically provided, the default values are used. For instance, when no font size is specified, 10 point is assumed. To summarize, the syntax of document class command is something like this: / document class open square bracket, we will give like comma separated list of options, and then in the curly brackets we will mention our document class name. This applies to almost all commands in LaTeX. Whatever comes within the curly brackets are the mandatory arguments or the mandatory inputs, and whatever comes within the square brackets are optional. That implies we can have a document class command without any options, but we need to mandatorily mention the class name, because up until this point we were having document class article. So in this case we did not specify any options. So whatever comes within curly brackets are mandatory. That means you need to give some value for that particular argument. On the other hand, if you want to make any customizations, you can mention one or more options. Document class, open square brackets. So we can have like multiple options, option 1, option 2, so on, close square bracket, and we always need to mention the class because it's a mandatory argument. We can also change the type of paper that we are using. By default, it is letter paper. We can change it to A4 by specifying A4 paper. Compile. Apart from the customizations that we have discussed up until now, these are all the available document class options. In order to visualize the changes, what I've done here is that I've superimposed letter paper on A4 paper. You can now clearly see that the width of the letter paper is more than that of A4 paper. Also, the length of A4 paper is more than that of letter paper. We can continue with our customization. For instance, say that we want 2 columns in our document. To do that, we'll go to our options list here, put a comma and say 2 column. Recompile. You can now see that the text in our document spans only half the width of the document, indicating we have 2 columns. You can add more content and see how the text fills across the 2 columns. Comparing our current output with what we had earlier, we can clearly see that the text now spans only across half the width of the document, indicating that we have two columns. Because initially a text ran across the entire width of the document.